Will formal education remain relevant in the age of AI? My view is that yes, it's going to remain relevant for a variety of reasons. AI definitely is going to change a number of things, but formal education, college education, university education will remain relevant. People will not stop going to colleges and university for their education. It is not going to happen. There will be a massive change, no doubt. Some academic areas probably will get impacted more than others. There may be less number of students in the computer science department, but sometimes I do feel that we have way too many students in the CS department. That's a good change in my view. And departments such as civil engineering, mechanical engineering, fundamental science probably is going to are going to be more popular in the years to come. But education, nevertheless, will remain relevant, and people will go to schools. They will send their kids to schools, colleges, and universities. Not completely dependent on learning from ChatGPT and other AI tools. These tools definitely going to help us learn faster, learn in a more personalized way, and these tools are going to help us a lot in our work. We'll be more efficient, our productivity will increase, but these tools will never be able to replace us professionals completely. There will no doubt be less requirement for educated professionals in many areas, not in all areas, but in many areas, yes. But you definitely need people out there, well educated people, people with formal qualification. And the reasons behind it. First of all, I'll start with an example. In 50s and 60s, when computers came, and computers were meant to do computation, that's why we call them computers. And they were very different computers compared to what we see now, big ones. But they were also good enough to do computations, much better computations than any human being could do even at that time. And what happened at that time? People thought that you don't need to study mathematics anymore, because there was a perception that you study mathematics to do computation. And now we have computers, we have automated machines to do computations. So why bother to study mathematics? And yet in 2025, we still study mathematics. So it hasn't changed in the last 70 years. And then computers became better and better over time. Computers have become much better compared to the computers of 60s and 70s, and yet we still study maths. The requirement for mathematical skills is a lot higher today compared to it used to be 5, 50, 60 years back. When the internet came 30 years back, there was this perception among people that many professions will be replaced simply because you don't need people to remember things. You can easily get information from the internet very easily. Just a Google search is enough. And yet, we do not see that to be the case. You see that people still go to college and university to learn things. And of course, they make use of Google to be better professionals, to learn things. But Google hasn't replaced many professionals. So, in my view, AI will definitely make us professionals better, more productive, more efficient. But the need of qualified professionals in different areas, whether it's engineering, medicine, in accountancy, in management, in fundamental science, there will always be need of qualified professionals. Things might change in the way we learn. It will be more personalized. There will be AI systems to help students learn faster, better. There will be automated translating systems so that you can translate lectures from English to Spanish to Mandarin to Hindi, whatever language you want to translate to. That's going to happen. Because of internet, YouTube, people are now learning remotely. People are now watching lectures sitting in some remote village in India. The lectures of Harvard universities, which are freely available on YouTube. So that's quite possible. It's already happening, and it's only going to be better and in a more grander way in the future because of AI, because content creation will be much easier now. So there will be such facilities available for students to benefit from. But then people will not stop going to universities. Because how do you prove that you have the knowledge? You can obviously have skills, you can show skills. In some professions, for example, let's say you are being hired to develop a website, nobody will ask a degree for that. As long as you are good at developing a website, That's fine. It's like becoming a carpenter. Nobody will ask you your qualification if you're going to work as a carpenter or a mechanic. Some of the skills, the white collar skills, such as developing a website or a web app, will not need a formal qualification for that. But imagine working as a doctor. Will you allow a doctor which was studied from ChatGPT and has never gone to an university for his studies to advise you on health related topics? I will not do that. I'm sure many people will not do that. Similarly, you cannot do high quality research in fundamental science, in chemistry, in biochemistry, biotech, in various areas of life sciences without doing a formal degree, without having done bachelor or masters or PhDs in these areas. So these academic qualifications will remain relevant. Liberal arts qualifications will also remain relevant. In fact, they will be more relevant compared to what they used to be in the past. In 60s and 70s, people thought there's no point doing liberal arts degrees because anyway you don't learn much, and whatever you learn you can easily learn from books. And later on, when internet came, people thought you can learn everything from the internet. You want to learn political science or history or geography, you can easily learn from the blogs and websites from the internet. But yet in 2025 there are still departments running, and there are students enrolling for degrees in liberal arts. You learn soft skills, you learn quite a bit in university. And universities are not just for getting information. I think that will change. It will remain a place to hang out with young and motivated people to do things. And professors will simply guide you as to how to learn and what not to learn. Yes, things are going to change for better, but university degrees will still remain relevant. And therefore, in my view, students who are currently in university, they should focus on their studies and not be pessimistic about the fact that in the future their degrees probably will be completely irrelevant. I don't see that happening. If you learn something from the GPT tools, the AI tools, the Gen AI tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, it's not very easy to learn everything without a proper instructor. I have learned quite a bit. In fact, I'm currently learning a lot of things from LLM tools. It's quite difficult actually to learn in a very structured way if you learn from the GPT tools. No matter how disciplined you are, it's quite difficult. And that's going to remain a problem for students, for even professionals. So you need somebody to teach you. So that's going to remain relevant. And that's only possible if you go to university. University degree probably are going to leverage the facilities provided by provide the tech companies. There will be more use of computers and GPT tools in the classrooms. So next to your professors, there will be probably an AI tool helping the professors, teaching better, preparing course materials, and all of that. And all that. Well, I have been hearing about gamification for last 20 years, but that's not changing things much. So, to summarize, my view, formal education in whatever form will remain very relevant, in fact, more relevant than we have seen before. So, do go to college, do go to university. Don't be in that mindset that in the future these certificates will remain irrelevant. You will find it very difficult when you search for jobs because most companies require you to have a qualification, and they will definitely require you to have qualification in the future as well. You will not get a job just by learning things from ChatGPT. There are some people who have managed to find good jobs just by reading, doing, and doing some projects, and maybe in software development and some areas. But for a vast majority of the professions, college degrees will remain important. And college degrees are also very important for a number of other things. For example, the foundation of something is that you need to learn from books by doing exercises. AI will help you doing mensuration, calculus, trigonometry, but you have to do the problems in order to solve the problems. You can make use of an AI tool to write a good essay, but if you really want to be a good communicator, you have to learn things yourself. You don't have to just take help from ChatGPT all the time. That's not going to help you a lot. And otherwise, it becomes a very mechanical learning. You learn things without knowing how things are. And that's something I also see among the new age folks who are learning directly from AI tools, or even before that, just from the internet. So they can do things quickly, but they don't understand how to replicate those things. And you ask them some questions, some deeper questions, they won't be able to answer. And so for deeper thinking, for critical thinking, it's very important to have a theoretical background, and that's something you can learn only university or college setup. There are alternatives to that, but not many people can go through the route. Most mortals will have to go through the university education in order to be efficient and in order to be well educated. And then the trust factor is also important. You will not trust people who are not formally qualified. If imagine a nurse who has learned everything from ChatGPT, will you take her service? No. Or doctor or an engineer, a civil engineer. Imagine somebody is a civil engineer and is working in making a building or working in the construction sector. That's quite dangerous in my view. So one has to go to a university to learn civil engineering, to learn mechanical engineering, and we're not there yet. Maybe there'll be more powerful AI that will be able to do everything. We're not there yet. Close to the artificial general intelligence or the AGI. That level of powerful AI is quite some year far in my view. Having said that, there will be disruptions, no doubt. White collar jobs will be wiped out in many areas, and some academic fields will be less relevant. Many coding schools will close down. That's probably going to happen. In fact, it's already happening. The number of IT professionals needed will be less, but then there will be need of professionals in the physical world. Maybe in the digital world there will be less requirement for professionals, but in the physical world there will be newer professions emerging, and for which you need a formal qualification. And I already see that the demand for computer science education has decreased around the world. And now it used to be the case that anyone wants to become an engineer just want to become a computer engineer, a software engineer, and not a civil engineer, mechanical engineer, or a physicist or a mathematician. I think that is changing already, which is in a way good. Let me know your views in the comment section. Thank you.